Dogu is bad. Burna Boy is at it again. When do you think things change for Burna Boy musically?
So it's not like there's not been talent before, right? But born identity, born identity and born mixes, both projects actually. This guy had talent, incredible records. His debut album showed that he had talent as well. So talent was never Burna Boy's problem. Okay. Everybody knew he was special, and he went to South Africa, did his thing there as well, all that stuff. But there's just something about the way the guy has used his peak, quote unquote. Like, the only reason why a lot of people won't put Burna Boy in like the top 3 stratosphere of his David and Olamide is because those guys never had breaks between 2010 and now. They never had breaks. It's been go. But Burna Boy had 2010 to 2013, 14-ish. And then between 2014 and 2017, wasn't great. He was beset by bad decisions and controversy and all that, right? But even before then, you can still not say, between 2010 and 2014, you can still not say he killed stuff on the level of those things. However, it wasn't due to a lack of talent, it was just because it wasn't there just there yet. But the way Burna Boy has used this peak, we have never seen people use their peak like this, except maybe P-Square, like use the peak of their powers to like the best level possible. Do you understand? P-Square used the peak of their powers to the best level possible. They were selling out shows, they were making money, they were selling out CDs, they were creating templates in terms of like selling video albums, like they were doing everything. Burna Boy is like Chavi. You know how Chavi was? Chavi Hernandez, the Barcelona legend. You know how he was like on the level of, it was the same set as Gerrard and Lampard. But then before 2008, Chavi was not in the same, he was never in the conversation of world-class midfielders. He was talented, but was never in that conversation. Like, he wasn't top 3 Ballon d'Or, he wasn't, like you get, it was not one of those guys. All of a sudden, he just came up and had this wild 5-year run. And all of a sudden, everybody's saying he's greater than those guys. Do you understand? I'm not saying Burna Boy is greater than those guys, but you get the point I'm trying to make in terms of like using your peak. Between 2018 and now, Burna Boy has been ridiculous. Like it's almost like he's confident. It's not a form. It's just confidence. It feels like if he touches this thing, it's going to work. It feels like if he drums, Agolo is going to work. It's crazy because 2018 outside was when everything changed. To answer your question, it was outside where everything changed. Outside was the first time in concept since life that Burna Boy had a record, an album that people loved. Personally, I don't. I don't hold it on the same level as Twice as Stone and African Giant, but it's a quality album. And there's a reason why the album was a comeback movement for Burna Boy. And then he had Yin, obviously. And Evans came. No, come on. So outside was a movement.
Alright, so it seems like he has been releasing a couple of albums, great albums. Did he unintentionally become more of an album artist or less of a singles artist?
That's a two-pronged conversation. That answer has two angles to it. That question has two angles to it. Number one, Burna Boy's success came at a time that Nigeria was going back into becoming an album market or a project market. Whereas before 2018, we were singles market significantly, in the sense that people could go years without releasing an album. But the era of streaming and the era where people were signed to foreign label, they were no longer signed to Nigerian labels anymore. They were signed to foreign labels, so they have obligations now. That means you have to fill your obligations actually with bodies of work, and in this case it's albums, because labels need to make their money. And that means, because it's a streaming era where, as of 2018, it was accounting for close to 30% of total revenue, total direct revenue for the music industry. It meant that people were biased towards, because if you release, the longer your album, the longer the likelihood of people you making more money from streaming. So that's why these days people go for shorter tracks, longer albums. It's a retention strategy. It's a stickiness strategy, right? So we were going back to an album market as an entire situation, and you understand that it was around that time that all the foreign companies were coming in, not just the streaming platforms, but also the record labels, the label services companies. Everybody was signing Nigerian artists. That's one. Number two, Burna Boy also hacked a different side to himself. Like, he was so confident. After outside, he blew up like 6 months after outside, right? And then he had Killing Them, he had Soke, he had he had 3 records between August and December of the same year. Then he released African Giants. African Giants was when the guy possibly felt indestructible. You could literally see the switch in confidence. People don't just go from African Giants to making twice as well. You have to be supremely confident in yourself to say, you know what, I'm done with singles. You can chill for now. I want to go with the Grammy, and then you go make an incredible album again. People don't do that. So did he unintentionally become it? Maybe not exactly unintentionally, but he did think that it was going to be described as an album artist. Probably not. Probably not. But would they appreciate the fact that people think he has great albums? Yes. The idea that Burna could release 3 albums, I call it the trifecta. It's the trifecta. 3 consecutive albums, critically acclaimed, possibly commercially successful, quality albums, outside Trans and Stone African Giants. If he does it again with Damini, then that means there's a problem. That's a problem. So did he unintentionally become it? Maybe not. But is it a compliment to him? And would you take it as a compliment? Yes.
All right. So you said that we are transitioning from a singles market to an albums market. But do you think hit singles still matter in 2022?
Yeah, they do still matter in the sense that the way people still make their money is singles. It's still brand deals, and that's brands and endorsements and live shows, right? And as a pop star, the currency for your stardom is hits. Plain and simple, right? It's the idea of. But these days, the definition of what is a hit has become so warped, right? Because a lot of people are unrealistic. A lot of people are driven by stardom and perception bias, and a lot of people choose to only see what they want to see. And that's mostly because superstars, 2 things happen to superstars. It's not going to happen in any world where Burna Boy releases a single and it's not going to do good numbers. Burna Boy, Biggie, Whiskey, all of them. Like Olamide, it's simply not going to happen. Do you understand? Like, it's not going to happen. If they like, let them release a silent body of work. They will have great numbers. Possibly get to number 1 on different charts. Because why? They are superstars with an incredible fan base. Their music has a lot of expectation on it and anticipation on it. And number 3, these guys are signed to corporations that are invested in their success. So that means the pitches that go out on the music to different wholesalers and CD sellers and streaming platforms is going to be different to the average persons, because the label also stands to make a lot of money from it. And then number 4, the streaming platforms that these guys are pitching to are indebted to the record labels, because the record labels own a significant amount of the catalog that these guys are signed to. The record labels own a significant amount of the catalog that these DSPs depend on, and these guys are signed to them. So it's not going to happen. Simple. But what it means these days, why the idea of a single, so that means in regular sense, you are going to have successful singles, numbers wise. But the definition of a hit these days is records that stay at the top. Eye test is how we can see singles these days. If anybody asks you, what is the biggest Nigerian record of 2021? You don't need numbers to tell you that it's Sungba. But if you check numbers, there are going to probably be a lot of Nigerian records that have way more numbers than Sungba. But do you need anybody to tell you that Sungba is the hottest Nigerian record of 2022? No. Do you get what I'm saying now? Now let's go back to the idea of artists making hit singles. When we did a review for Wizkid's Made in Lagos, the title of it is "A Nigerian Superstar Sacrificing Hits for Quality Albums." I was saying something about why albums are important. I said it previously, so people can refer to that. So I'm going to continue from that premise from this one. You will notice that when artists release albums, they are going to top charts anyway. Do you understand? Like, they release out. That's why before, singles were meant to be released to whet the appetite, and labels also stood to make a ton of money from those things, right? You could sell CDs, you could sell metro things, you could bundle, you could do all these things. Right now, physical sales, obviously, it made some form of a comeback for the first time in 16 years last year in 2021, right? But this time, it is the music industry right now is dependent on streaming. Like, that's the reality. So that means if streaming accounted for, like, for example, I said it on the last episode of the show. Warner Music released their Q1 reports. Q1 reports, they made around $1.2 billion. $700 million from it. Streaming accounted for $700 million. Physical sales accounted for just $120 million. I think 122 if I'm not wrong. Right? Bro, so taking it back to this idea, it brings me to the premise that these guys, once they release albums and streaming determines an incredible amount of what's popping in charts, these guys are going to populate the charts anyway. So they don't even need to release singles. So if you don't release a single beforehand and release an album, you are going to populate the charts anyway. So it's not like the singles don't matter. It's just that the efficacy of releasing a single before an album drops has sort of reduced. It's been watered down a little bit. It's not essentially inconsequential, but the efficacy of a single and the importance of a single in this era, as regards chart success, as regards a thing where it needs to be like a beacon of anticipation for your album, it's sort of reduced significantly. So that means a Burna Boy can have an entirely successful year without any hit record from Twice as Tall. What's the hit from Twice as Tall? He doesn't need it. A quality album is carrying him. So which takes him back to the idea of the guy unintentionally became an album artist. Unintentionally. People, right now, it feels like people don't even understand whether. I was talking to a friend of mine, shout out to him. He said, last year, Burna Boy didn't have a solo hit record of himself. He had popular record, but there was not exactly a hit record, right? And that guy said, now pack all of Burna Boy's singles since January 2021 into a body of work and tell me it won't sound like a quality body. Bro, I thought about it. I was stunned by that reason. Because it makes so much sense. The singles by themselves might not exactly pop individually, but put Kilometer, Question, I Want It All, Last. Put them on a body of work and listen to the body of work. Tell me it's not going to sound fire. You get the reason. So it makes way too much sense. So the guy, possibly unintentionally, became an album artist. And he's going to survive without hit records. He's going to survive. That's it.
Alright. But why do you think Burna Boy's singles aren't exactly hitting the mark in terms of commercial success and staying power? I mean, some of these songs are sonically impressive.
Yeah, they're very impressive sonically. It's these days, bro. Nobody understands what is going to. See, don't let anybody lie to you. Nobody knows what's going to become a hit record these days. Nobody has any formula. Nobody has any blueprint. I mean, some companies are very influential that they can push certain things to become success stories, and they have the budget to actually market some of those records. But bro, still, nobody has any blueprint. I've seen, over the past one, I've literally seen people spend money, all the strategy in the world, all this, that. Nothing. Although, and it's now snowballed into artists overthinking their releases because everybody's thinking strategy. Oh, TikTok is going to, this hook is going to be good on TikTok. Oh, bro, at the end of the day, it might still not work because there's no blueprint. So which brings me back to Burna Boy. Burna Boy has had the level where he possibly feels like he can release anything. Kilometer is an incredible record, but that record sounds like a 2015 record. But he dropped it. I Want It All is a fantastic record, but was never going to be a hit record in Nigeria. Maybe it was possibly not even made for this country. Question, I thought Question was going to enter. I thought so. But it didn't. For whatever reason in the world. I don't know. It didn't. The audience is mad. You people are mad. You people just choose whatever you want and allow it to flourish. You people are mad. That's it. That's why I try not to make definitive statements these days, because anything can happen. Which brings me to this new single, Lastlast. Bro, nobody needs to tell you that Lastlast is an A1 record. It's an incredible record. Bro, I've been playing that record back to back since it dropped. It's a ludicrous record. But can you then say that the quality is not why it's not, it might not exactly transcend into the Etugba level. But it might, but it's unlikely to. But why is that happening? It's because Burna Boy is probably not releasing singles because he wants to have hits anymore. He's just releasing good music. Because he knows at the end of the day, I'm going to have great numbers. And I'm going to go on tour and perform Last. And everybody's going to go crazy. I'm going to perform it for 17,000 people and it's going to make numbers. That's it.
It's crazy. Right, but Burna Boy has given us a taste of this upcoming album with Last. What do you expect from the album?
I mean, the concept that the album is meant to follow is like all the emotions you go through in that. And usually turn 30. That's a ridiculous concept. Get what I mean? Album artist.
That's interesting.
That's what I heard. Bro, that's good. I don't know. But if this album enters, we're going to be having a different conversation. The album is going to be integral to where Burna Boy is headed in terms of greatness, in terms of where he ranks in his generation and the overall Nigerian greatness. It would be nice if he has some hit records from this. Like, sometimes you just need to remind people, when Hope said, fuck all that Sean Carter shit me go home. Like, I want to show you that I'm home, I can still be home. So sometimes, artists need to prove a point with some of those singles. I would like him to have a hit. But the truth is, if the album is fire, another A1 album has like 8.5, at least an 8.5 album, and it doesn't have another hit record, and it has records that can maneuver and meander through the way, it's going to be fine. Again. And that's facts.